once knew a Viking who converted to Christianity. Then he converted back. So now he's Bjorn again. Skål! Chieftain Ralf here. So, we had a comment on an older video we made where I just got a new sword and I was excited and showing it off and talking about my new sword. The fun thing about having a rinky-dink channel is I get to actually respond to comments and stuff, and I don't type them out, I just respond. So the question was, well, how are the swords doing now, right? That video, I forget how old it was, it's older. I said, yeah, but how'd they hold up? That's something I like to do in any of my videos. I've talked before, I like to put things through their paces before reviewing them. That was an actual unboxing video. So I opened the thing up, showed the sword, seemed cool. I think I said I'd get back to it, never did. So, I think this is the sword. It might be this one. I don't remember which one I had in that video. But, point being, they're from the same maker. They make a light version and a heavy version. So I have got the light one. I liked it so much I got the heavier one. By heavier, it's physically heavier, so there's more material for different usage and different fighting and different styles. I like using them both. So, they asked, how are they holding up? Short answer, they're fine. They're great. There's still no wobbles. The pommels are on there firmly. That's what can often happen with we'll say, subpar swords. But the pommels are still firmly on there. The grips are together. The grips are thin compared to some other swords. It can be an issue. Having fought with them a few times now, it's not a big issue. They fit well with my grips. When I wear a gauntlet, I still have enough indexing with them. So the short answer is they're holding up and they're working well. It comes with a caveat, though. Not on the swords, on me. So that's with light use over the past couple of years. Life happens, right? So I didn't get to use these as much as I would have liked to. I'd like to have been using them every single solitary second. That just doesn't happen. Partially because we have the property, we're having fun out there, we're also doing a lot of work out there. We're doing a lot of building and there's work to be done. You have to do that first, you know. Building takes precedence over destroying. So we're playing out at the property, building things. You know, you can't go raid a village until you know the long haul's up to snuff, right? You can't go play with your friends until you do your homework. That's just the way it is. So with the use these have seen, it's what I'd call light use. They're holding up well. Some dings in the cross guards, which is, if you're going to get dings, that's where you want them, depending on your fighting style. We do, when we fight, block with the blades. I've seen a point of contention when I used to pay more attention online, or whether that would have been historical or something you'd want to do. Like, well, yeah, if someone's swinging at you and you got this thing to defend yourself, you're going to block with the blade. So, the question specifically, I believe they said they wanted to get into HEMA. So there's the other caveat, right? And this is just my understanding from what I've seen. If you're going to get in any steel combat, read the rules thoroughly and understand them. By which I mean, when they tell you what dimensions your blade has to be, go get yourself a set of calibers. Any new sword you get, make sure you're measuring the edges and it's going to pass inspection. They're going to let you use it. Never be afraid to pester the seller to get exact measurements. Not everyone will post that. It's something you don't think about. You're just starting out, you want to do something, you just want to get out there and go fight and go play, right? You're not thinking about that. For modern safety reasons, the blade has to be a certain width, a certain thickness, a certain this. Can it be pointy? Do they make you put a cork on the end? Do they make you put tape on the end? These I like because they're round ends, so there is no risk of that. Are these HEMA legal? I don't know. I don't know the specifications. I'm going to guess no for most HEMA groups, just because HEMA, which is Historical European Medieval Martial Arts, historical medieval look it up. Historical European martial arts, they focus on Middle Ages. So they're trying to recreate folios and manuals from, I want to say, the 14th century. That's well outside the purview of the more traditional Viking age, definitely outside the purview of when what we recognize as a Viking style pommel or sword would have been used. Check with your local group if you have a local HEMA. Ask them if they'll let you train in what they would consider one-hand sword or arming sword techniques with a Viking style sword. They might let you do it anyway, because what's in a pommel, what's in a crossguard, what's in a keyon. They might say no, we stick to this one particular thing. And if that's the case, it doesn't mean you have to run off and start your own group or hate them. Befriend them and train with them anyway. See if they have a sword you can borrow. It's still a way to go fight, go play, go learn. And then start your own Viking group. Get to know their rules, get to know their fighting style. Last I saw, there was a push to get more towards the Viking age because it became popular. It's very fun. I prefer it. Again, what HEMA's doing is they want to follow the manuals. What we do is we want to hit each other with essentially sword-shaped crowbars because there's something wrong with us. So a little bit more about the swords themselves. They're from Purpleheart Armory. They have a light version, a heavy version. I prefer using the heavy version. It takes a little more control, but I don't know. What I sacrifice in speed, I like the feel better. I like the aesthetic better. You might be able to see, I don't know if you can actually see or tell, a heavier version profiles more like a historical blade would. That's something else to consider when looking up any group, whether it's HEMA or anything you're going to do, is the weight. Some of them have weight restrictions. This heavy one I like is a little on the heavy end for what we do, but we have enough control and safety in place, and I don't know, we just don't hurt each other. I don't know how. It just happens. Or doesn't, I should say. So some of them have weight restrictions, so you're not wailing on each other. When we do it, we're all friends and know each other, so we know what we're doing. Of course, when you swing the heavy one enough, the light one becomes really light and whippy, and you can really get it going. But it profiles a little differently, again, because to make it lighter, it needs less material, so it's going to profile a little less. So, yeah, still no dings. I can do that with my hand without cutting the shit out of myself. Although now that I'm having a flashback, I think I may have cleaned this up at one point. Which is going to happen. It's going to happen with any sword, any blade you use. Again, I won't do research, even looking up what the hell I bought, because I've had this for a while. I don't remember the price point. I remember it being inexpensive enough that I actually bought 3 of them. I sold one at cost, because I bought 2 of the light ones and 2 of the heavy ones and 1 of the light ones with the intent to use as a loaners. Someone liked it and bought it off me within the group because they liked it. And they said, well, screw the shipping. I said, yeah, I wanted to encourage everyone to get a sword. So, I believe that's what happened. So, yeah, they're holding up great. Everything's working great. We're still having fun. As far as using them in other groups and organizations, I don't know. Contact Purpleheart Armory. Ask them for exact dimensions, exact measurements. Still get the calipers. Get Harbor Freight. They used to be like $15. I'm sure they've gone up. They have the digital calipers. They're calibrated well enough that when you get it, still measure it. Measure it before you take it to the field. You don't want to get all excited to go fight and get bounced because your sword doesn't work. If you're meeting up with them, you can go out with the express purpose of having them measure it. A marshal will look over your kit and your stuff and see if it works. Just don't get too excited and then go out there and not be able to fight. Contact your local groups. Read the rules, learn as much as you can online, and then go talk to them and figure it out. I want to mention one more sword. This one, unfortunately, I haven't fought with at all. I want to. This is, of course, from Armstreet, our good friends over in Ukraine. They were producing some swords and stuff still. This is a weight equivalency to the heavier version I have from Purpleheart. This costs more. Not outside the realm of possibility, enough that I'm like, oh yeah, I was going to buy that. Because it's not bad. The pommel is not peened on. That I can't tell. They might have just cleaned it over. The grip's better. It's a little longer. Traditionally, Viking swords have a shorter grip to them. A lot of people complain about that. On the Purpleheart swords, they're a little longer than some other ones are even. And there's also points of contention whether or not that is even historical or just some finds. So the reason I bring up the Armstreet sword is, well, I really like it. And this is, if you're interested in SCA cut and thrust, theirs is actually made to be SCA cut and thrust legal. Again, looking at my heavy one from Purpleheart might be as well. It's nothing. I was interested when I found out about it when I bought this, and they said you could use it in cut and thrust. I looked into it and was interested in it, but you got to jump through 12 hoops to even be qualified to do it. I really like this. Check out Armstreet too. They make some great stuff. They're over in Ukraine. Always support them. Best bang for your buck is going to be Purpleheart Armory from what I've seen. I mean, I bought these two. I bought the Armstreet. I haven't been in the market for a new sword in a long time as far as our steel combat fighting swords. So I don't know. As of when I was looking, these are the best bang for your buck. I recommend them. They're still holding up. Any sword you buy, you're going to have to clean up. And you're going to have to oil and keep it rust proof. The pommels are sturdier to hell on there. They're still holding up. No cracks, no chips, no dings. You got to clean them up every once in a while. Go for it. So there you go. Any other questions, let me know. Leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer them. I might do some more videos on various weapons and things. So you can see, Kimps, we're at our winter property because the summer property shut down. There we go. That's all I got for you. Chieftain out.